Hello and welcome back to A Journey to King's Cross, a Harry Potter book podcast.
Hey, wait a minute, that's my line.
Not today, it isn't.
Rude.
Join us for chapter 14 of the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Cornelius Fudge.
Otherwise known as what J.K. Rowling turned into in her later years.
A hypocrite? A dictator?
Nah.
I was thinking more of an individual who's so obsessed with something that's not actually important, all the while allowing other people to ruin their country.
Aha! A politician!
I mean, he is a minister, so...
I just kind of find it funny in the grand scheme of things how many similarities that J.K. Rowling and Minister Fudge have, in my personal opinion.
Isn't her self-insert character...
Technically Hermione, I think?
Yeah.
That would explain why she got a lot nicer and a lot cooler in the actual movies.
Could be.
But...
I feel like she has more in common with Fudge than she does with Hermione, though, definitely at this point. Hermione's the type of person who would look at the current political statement and be like, no.
So our chapter art is a scroll, which at the top you can see Roman numerals for 12, so I have to assume that this is the 12 school governors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's then followed by several signatures. Which is honestly kind of a weird choice for the cover art. They could have done like a picture of Cornelius Fudge. I feel like that would have made more sense.
Especially given the fact that the 12 signatures things was Lucius Malfoy's thing, you know?
Right.
It does seem kind of an odd, and to be honest, it's also a very boring image. There's nothing unique, interesting.
Just a scroll.
Like, I like to complain about my lopsided art, but that's basically just a talking point. I really don't have an actual issue with it. But, a long scroll of paper with the number 12 at the top.
There's nothing really unique about it.
Yeah.
Like, that could be for anything. Scrolls?
Honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea to do like a special episode of going through and voting on which ones we like the best in terms of chapter art and which ones we dislike. I feel like that one might actually be the one that is the most disliked because it's so boring and uninteresting.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know. Squiggly arms, kind of...
But it's at least relevant to the chapter, and it's, got something more interesting than a sheet of paper on it.
I mean, they could have done, like, two scrolls leaned on a megaphone to represent McGonagall's scroll, her megaphone, and Lucius's scroll. Or they could have done Harry's dormitory being torn apart.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Like, have the trunk tipped over, the drawer upended, the covers kicked off.
I mean, to be fair, all of the artwork doesn't necessarily coincide exactly with the chapter name. So, you know what? It'd be kind of cool because...
something in the chapter, at least, so...
None of the actual...
That did happen in the chapter.
I'm going to be honest, I lost train of thought here in this conversation, and I jumped in with the wrong thing. My bad, guys.
That's all right.
Leave it.
I will say...
Wait, you're Jewish?
What?
Nothing.
At the time
I'm Midwestern.
We're going over this. One of the things that Ron does, it's kind of funny. Riddle does sound like Percy. Who asked him to squeal on Hagrid anyway? And then Hermione says, "But the monster."
Ron's from the streets.
Killed someone. Ron sounds very much like today's political climate.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Which, for any of you out there listening who don't know what we're talking about, we're obviously talking about the CEO.
I'm gonna be honest, I was one of those people sitting here going, we're talking about the CEO, right? Is that what we're talking about? It's like, okay.
But see, here's the thing though. Hermione, the CEO was the monster.
All I can think to myself is that Ron's from the streets. He don't abide by no snitching.
Snitches get stitches.
Damn right.
Sorry, your health care doesn't cover that.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I guess you're just going to have to let them bleed out.
Look, and before any of you guys out there get the wrong idea, I do empathize with the loss of human life, obviously. However, I grew up watching a Muppet Christmas Carol, and I'm sorry, Scrooge goes to the future and everyone makes jokes about his death and are glad that he's dead, and he then... he's like, oh shit, I'm a bad person, and becomes a good person. So, like, Christmas Carol has taught me I don't need to mourn the death of billionaires who hoard their wealth and look down on the less fortunate. You know what? I think we should all start going to the street. Every time a billionaire or the super rich leave their house, we need to start singing rude songs about them.
There goes Mr. Humbug. There goes Mr. Scrooge.
Even the vegetables don't like it.
Now you know you screwed up if the vegetables don't like it.
Sorry, guys. We're
Eat
close.
the rich.
We're close to eat the rich.
Oh, no.
Well, anyway, back to our non-political book, obviously.
Yeah, there's no politics in here. It's not like we mentioned slavery in this book or anything.
Hey, guys. There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
There's no war in where now?
There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Where's Ba Sing Se? I don't know where that is.
I think she's messing with us.
She is.
Okay. Just being sure. Because I was about to be like, no, after you guys are done with Oran Host Club, we need
I would never put my honor on the line like that.
Alright.
Okay, but also, Ron and Hermione also go back and forth about the argument, because it's like, she's like, Riddle might have gotten the wrong person. Maybe it was some different monster. And Ron's like, how many monsters do you think this place can hold? Actually, he says it dully, but...
Ron,
I feel like...
it is a castle.
Look, man, we have...
Ron out here being an absolute savage. I love this guy so
Snape,
much in the book.
Filch, the Chamber of Secrets monster, and another monster. That's 4 monsters. That's a lot. And Draco's big ego. Like, that's a lot of monsters. But
I'm just going to go out and remind everybody that ghosts are actually considered monsters in most forms of literature, movies, and TV shows. And we've got God knows how many of those running around this castle.
Peeves running around. Let's look at all the GADA classes when they brought creatures in. The Boggart, the Kelpies, the Hinky Punks.
Oh, God. Yeah, you could...
Grindylows.
We had a werewolf one year, too. Yeah. And a 3-headed dog.
Well, the werewolf...
Kimmy! I saw that look. I'm ashamed of you.
That I was like, what werewolf? They didn't bring a werewolf into class. Because my first thought was like a transformed werewolf. Obviously, I was like, I immediately.
I mean,
was
we let him outside. Right? I mean, we were not monsters, and we also let him inside when the winter got colder and stuff. Because if you're cold, they're cold.
Tell it to my Akita who wants to stay outside when it's -4.
Okay,
he keeps bugging me about it, too.
There's a national park that tweets about this and says, no, that's a mountain lion, leave it outside. Do not try and pet it.
They are my spirit animal.
Kitty.
Oh, we also had a dragon that one year as well.
The mountain lion or the national park?
The national park.
Look, man, I was reading an article about a guy who his neighbor called the cops on him. The cops show up and were like, "We're sorry, sir. We didn't realize it was a husky," and left.
Wait, they shot the dog?
What? No, they showed up to
someone called animal control.
Animal cruelty.
Yeah, because they left the dog outside.
And they're like, "Sorry, sir. If we had known what kind of dog it was, we wouldn't have shown up.
We wouldn't have bothered."
I lived with a husky for a while. You could not coax that thing in for the life of you. Food wouldn't even be enough to bring that dog inside. Well, she is food motivated, but not when it comes to being outside in the cold.
There's a priority list. Sadly, cold weather was on the top of it.
Because, I mean, let's be real. You should have seen that dog go after pizza that's in your hand still.
Oh, you're talking about her dog, right?
Yes, Hannah's dog.
Yeah. I wasn't. I didn't want to bring her name up in the podcast because reasons. It's no big deal. It's just the first name. You can't really identify her with the first name.
Out of the probably 3 million girls in the United States who have the same name, I think it's okay.
They all know we're talking about them.
They also mentioned that it's been 4 months between since an attack, so everyone's kind of being nice to Potter again. Peeves got bored of Potter, you rotter.
I don't know. That was a catchy tune. I think he could have sang it a little bit
Even
louder.
Ernie Macmillan was being polite.
You think he should have been doing that from the beginning? I'm gonna be honest with you. Dude,
don't
is
antagonize
capable
the person you think is a murderer.
I mean, just as a general rule of thumb, All I can think to myself is everybody's just... Seriously.
Oh, you're the potential murderer? Do you want an extra scoop of sugar in your coffee? Please don't kill me.
I want me to do all of your homework.
for real, not.
So-
Hey, fucker! Fuck you!
I heard you were killing people and everything.
Get wrecked!
Bitch! Proceeds to flip Harry off.
Seriously, none of these people in Hogwarts have heard that snitches get stitches.
None of these people in Hogwarts seem to understand any basic survival instincts.
Don't put them in a horror movie.
Half the castle would be dead.
Alright, I'm gonna go to the bathroom alone, guys. Wait, no!
Hermione would probably be the only person to actually survive based off of her own wits. Harry and Ron would be alive just because she's too stubborn to let those two idiots get themselves killed.
They would be trying to leave on their own. She'd be like, oh no, get back here, you moron.
Haven't you ever heard of the buddy system?
We also get a look into the academics, the basic day-to-day of picking out their new classes, because they get they get electives now.
I remember when we first started getting electives. I was
And-
horribly disappointed when I found out that I still had to do all my old classes as well,
Look,
just
man,
like Ron.
I still think that your high school year at first definitely should be 90% electives.
Listen, I was just disappointed when I looked at the electives and went, these all fucking suck.
Yeah.
Which is wild. You went to Grand.
Choir, band,
Cooking.
What do you got against choir?
no, hold on. What else were the basic white-ass electives that we had?
I went to a different
We
school.
didn't have anything fun.
I went to multiple
home
schools.
economics.
We had
or
auto shop.
cooking. Or we didn't have auto shop.
We also had woodworking
We didn't have that.
and metalworking.
We didn't have that. I went into a rich fucking
Yeah, you went to a
high
high school. You should have had
We
all
did.
those.
Did.
They had woodworking at your school.
Did we?
Yeah, I took woodworking class when I was going to
took
the
it
same
at Grand
schools.
Blanc?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm pretty confident
Maybe
I
I
did.
Man, my
glanced over that
school
one.
was tiny, and we had a bunch of random different
I
electives.
just remember being like not interested in any of the electives that we were given. And I
could've
think I ended up going with choir for like 2 years.
The worst elective
Maybe?
I took was Myths
I've
and
gone
Legends.
to so many different schools. I could not tell. I can't keep anything straight anymore when it comes to schools.
But the electives at Hogwarts sound amazing. Care of Magical Creatures, right up my alley.
Oh God!
Sounds great, actually. I probably would have taken that.
And just wait until you actually take it during third year with Hagrid. Oh boy! Hope you like Scroots. Blast-ended Scroots, that is.
That wasn't until fourth year.
See,
Details.
Listen, I am in vet med. You listen the first time when they say, don't piss the animal off.
So Brandy probably would have taken. Well, you had to take herbology and potion, but
Herbology, potions, charms, transfigurations, and defense against the dark arts. I think were the 5
core classes.
core classes. Was
But
there?
you would've-
And history of magic. So there's 6.
Oh, you're talking about like what my electives would have been?
Yeah.
They had a whole list of them apparently, but there was like a paper with like a bunch of them on, I think, and I think Hermione technically took the maximum number.
She took
of,
everything.
Yeah, but
It
there
does
only
say she signed up
requires.
for everything.
That means there was only she only got 12 OWLs. So that means there's technically only
she
a
got-
total of 12.
No, she got 11 of the 12 or 12 of the 13.
Right,
because
there are
she
other
dropped
people that
divination.
did get all the 12.
Yep, 'cause she
so that
dropped
means
divination.
12 is the max number of classes Hogwarts technically
Yep.
teaches. There's only so many I can remember off the top of my head, though.
Or it's not that it's 12. I feel like it's not 12 that they teach, it's just 12 that you can.
No, because we talked about this at the beginning of this book, or at the end of the last one, that the number of the OWLs is basically a you've passed this class. Because we looked it up. Hermione got all but 1 because she dropped divination. And there was like 2 other people that had all of them, but there was no mention of the time turner.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
I think Percy got it, and I think a Riddle
Bill
was
or
the...
Charlie.
No, I could have sworn it was somebody outside of the Weasley family that got it, but yeah.
There was like 2 or 3 people that got all 12. There wasn't a lot, but there was a lot of them that got, a few of them that got all of the OWLs, but no mention of the time turner.
Well, see, that doesn't make it. Yeah, because that doesn't make any sense then. Without you wouldn't be able to
I feel like we've already talked this
get
conversation
owls for
down.
every class then, because she's the only person who's ever been able to get a time turn.
No. It had to have already been established in order for her to get it to begin with.
But there was just no mention, so it was probably like a...
Because she was sworn to secrecy on the matter. So anybody who'd taken all 12 of the classes wouldn't have said anything to anybody else.
There's no way I would trust a Weasley with a time turner.
I mean, to be fair, every single Weasley except Fred and George has been an upstanding member of society.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. We'll cover this again in the third book, but I just don't think it's a good idea to be giving prepubescent teenagers fucking time travel abilities. Seems rather stupid and dangerous to me.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, Hogwarts in general sounds highly dangerous.
Yeah, but fucking around with time, man. They literally, like, if you run into your own doppelganger, you might kill each other. Which is stupid if you know that you're... at least if you travel to a time where you know you have a time turner, you'd be like, aha, oops, and then go about your day.
Like, laugh at each other, like,
yeah,
look what
Hermione would be like, huh, I did something dumb.
Okay,
Moving
I
on.
found a list of classes on the Harry Potter wiki, and alphabetical order-wise, we have astronomy, which I always honestly forget about. Charms.
Oh, yeah, that's a core class, too.
Defense against the dark arts. Herbology. History of magic. Potions. Transfiguration. Alright, those are your core ones. We have electives. We have arithmancy. Care of magical creatures.
Is anyone counting?
Divination.
I am, but not classes.
Muggle studies. Core in 1997 and 1998 only? Okay, that's weird. I have no idea where that's from. Study of ancient runes. And apparently 6th and 7th year have, like, advanced arithmancy studies and... Oh, other, like, classes. So they are counting, like, apparition classes. Classes that were technically only there for, like, a hot second, like the dark arts one and the flying classes as well. Oh, they have extracurricular subjects. Ancient studies, art, field studies, ghoul studies, magical theory, Muggle art, Muggle music. There's a Muggle music class?
Dude, you know the Muggle kids were running around singing Queen.
Oh, and xylomancy, which is apparently an overlooked way of divination, which has something to do with twigs.
Huh.
I'm very confused about I'm very confused about their class forms and stuff. It does make me wonder, though, like, okay, so we've got the actual classes, we got this and everything else. So it does make me kind of wonder if there's, like, a lot of extra stuff that you can learn at Hogwarts that isn't technically a class. You know? Makes you... Anyway, where were we in the actual book?
Well, they were going over their options for third year electives.
I was going to bring up, Percy says that it's never too early to look at your future. Go for divination. Such an un-Percy-like answer, it feels like.
It really is.
Like,
especially with how similar Hermione and Percy are, especially during the first half of the series. It seems kind of odd, considering Hermione has no tolerance for that class. I find it weird that he would have any interest in that class at all, let alone recommending it.
I love how there's kids that are, like, really thinking about what classes they're going to go with, and, like,
other people
close their eyes, point at the paper, I'm going with this one. And then Hermione's like, fuck it, I'm doing all of them. So, like, it makes me think, like, did it on the paper say, pick 2? And Hermione went, yeah, no.
it's a good question. I mean, I think that there's probably a minimum required classes that you have to take.
Yeah, you can't just skip out on them entirely.
Yeah.
So there's probably at least...
Pick at least 2.
Yeah.
See, if I remember, like, it probably was a selection of, like, hey, these are how many blocks you have, these are how many blocks this class will take up. So, like, if you picked too many classes that were, like, only once a week, you'd have to pick a few more classes to make up for it.
Okay.
It doesn't exactly help that since Hermione ends up doing multiple classes right next to each other and everything, some of the electives seem very poorly timed.
Yeah.
In terms of when they can appear. You would think you'd have your core classes set with the exact same days of the week. And then the electives would also be the same time as other elective classes. You know what I mean?
That just
Like-
makes me think of when I went to school, we called block schedules. I didn't have the same day classes. They were the same every week, but not the same every day. Some days I'd have, like, first period, second period, third and fourth. But then the next day I'd have 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And another day I'd have 1, 4, 5, and 6. It was a struggle, man.
That was in high school?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's
it
weird.
was the same every week, but
That's
Individual-
like college
individual
shit.
days, we had 4 classes a day.
It is kind of funny that some of the
weird.
students there are already taking their electives as seriously as a person going to college.
Yeah. Well,
As far as we
Yes.
know, there is no college in the wizarding world. You
Yeah,
graduate,
there is-
you go to work.
There really isn't any higher education outside of, like, Hogwarts.
That's mentioned,
They have other schools that are mentioned, but
but
they're
no
all...
higher education.
It does make me wonder if people are actually, like, full-grown adults can act like... Oh, I think there was a mention outside of the series that Harry did, like, seminars or something along those lines at Hogwarts when dealing with Defense Against the Dark Arts and shit.
I don't
What do
know.
you-
I could have...
Hermione went back to finish her 7th year. I
Yeah.
remember reading that.
But that's not
this
the
is
same.
this is like this we have no idea. So it would be kind of interesting if, like, after a certain point when the students all get to run off and do their homework and stuff, if they have, like, night classes or something that take place at Hogwarts for other people's education. Because you'd imagine things like the medical, like, field and stuff with, like, the
Like
healers
St. Mungo's,
On
they
the
would
job
have
training.
like up to date, like, what you go through, basically.
Continuing
Yeah,
education.
continuing education. That can't all be done for everybody at the exact same time, because obviously we need somebody at the frickin' hospital.
Hard to say.
It does make me. It's one of those things where it does make me wonder, like, how some of the stuff works. But yeah, on the job training is also a pretty solid answer. Dumb question for everybody that I'm randomly popping in. Pick a job from the Harry Potter universe that you'd take.
What's Newt Scamander's job?
He's an author.
Magizoologist.
Yeah,
Magizoologist.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Me.
That'd be fun.
I'm the weird one. I would love to go work and take over Ollivanders.
I'd probably
I'd be the one. I want to be the wand wizard.
honestly, I'd probably work at St. Mungo's.
I was honestly thinking the closest to what my actual job is.
Care of magical creatures.
Oh, that's teaching. Ugh.
No,
Magizoologist.
just I'm not saying the teaching class. I'm just mean caring for.
Literally, you're not the professor.
'Cause
You're literally just caring for
technically-
animals.
The movie aside, technically, Newt Scamander's job was only to observe.
He did a very bad job of that,
He was
especially
very-
considering.
I don't want to be a Steve Irwin. I'll be the magical vet. Be the wizarding vet.
You'd have one of those shops in Diagon Alley,
Yeah, where they
basically.
took Scabbers to?
Yeah. You'd be in charge of not only selling pets, but also taking care of them.
You'd run a pet rescue.
I like it. I support it.
You'd work at Hogwarts on the grounds.
Probably.
Honestly, though, if we're going based off of our actual jobs and stuff, I'd probably be Filch in this universe
See,
because
no,
I
I
work
only
as a
went-
janitor.
See, I only went as my actual job because I'm the one that uses my college degree.
If I was talking about my actual job, I'd be a peon working somewhere.
Probably, considering we see very few businesses that have more than, like, maybe 1 or 2 employees, you're probably working for the ministry.
Okay, but you have a paralegal degree.
Yeah, I never actually used that. So.
You'd be in the ministry
You have
somewhere.
a paralegal
Probably.
degree?
Yeah.
Since when?
Since ever.
Yeah, I got that before I married my wife.
Yeah.
You went to college?
Yes.
You graduated college?
Yes.
Shit, I didn't know that.
I didn't get a very big degree or anything. I just got an associate's, basically.
Mine's an associate.
I don't even have that.
I don't use it, trust me. It did me very little good.
Well, shucks, guys. I just feel like a hillbilly here.
I mean, you don't have kids. If you ever want to go to college, there's, like, literally one right down the road.
No, I went there for a little bit. I just never graduated.
Oh, fair enough. What'd you go for?
Like I said, I never graduated.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
I didn't go for shit. I went for classes, and that was it. I didn't have a degree picked out.
Oh.
She did
Okay.
the general and then was like, I'll figure it out later. Fuck
Never
this,
Pretty
went
I'm
much,
back.
I
done.
said, I'm not going to go into student debt for something that I don't know what it is right now. I'll figure it out, and then I never did.
I mean, okay, fair enough.
I'm just making fun of myself about the fact that I just never I'm here with some college graduates, and I'm trying to be all philosophical
Oh,
and
yeah.
dissect a book.
We've definitely got the doctorates right here, both of us. Yeah.
I don't see
Very
your
smart.
doctorates.
You're making such a big deal out of it. I'm going to run with that and over exaggerate to the
yeah.
point of ridiculousness. Anyway,
Anywho,
we should just call this the Harry Potter off-topic podcast.
Basically what it becomes. So, electives.
next is Neville running up and saying, I don't know who did it, but somebody did it. And the
Who
room,
done it?
Harry's trunk is thrown everywhere.
Who done it?
You know, we could have solved this problem if we made it so girls couldn't go up to the boys' side as well as the boys not being able to go up to the girls' side. Just saying.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
it's sexist bullshit.
Just a smidge.
Just saying, we can be trusted a little bit more. Apparently. For some things. Not other things.
It just means that the boys will have to keep their dorms clean if they want to bang a girl. Because if the girl always has to go over to the guys' room, it better be clean.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm not particularly interested in screwing with an audience. You're gonna have to shoo the rest of the guys
class,
out.
obviously.
I feel like that'd make it even more obvious what you were doing.
You just slip out. You just Harry, can I
slip
borrow
out?
your cloak? I was
just
gonna say
slip
you
out?
slip out Harry's cloak.
Oh God, no!
Well, I hope you don't slip out.
God.
But being teenagers, they probably did.
Oh God.
Hey, your dog.
We are terrible people.
I know.
This is
his
not for
dog's
kids.
begging for attention, and he doesn't pet him. Anyway, guys, back to the podcast. They do at least get to the point where it's like, but it had to have been a Gryffindor.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised they don't really connect the dots a little bit more on that one.
Or, like, try and figure it out. Or go to your head of house and be like, yo.
Somebody stole something from me. Full stop.
But they thought about it, and Harry was like, no, because then I have to explain it, and then I might get Hagrid in trouble, and just, no.
And then
Harry has to... Like, I feel like this series would be much shorter book-wise, individually-wise, if Harry had more than 2 fucking brain cells to rub together.
He's a ginger cat.
I have been going through a couple of the books already and just refreshing my memory a little bit. And I'm just sort of reading through these and I'm just sort of thinking to myself, Harry, there's a really obvious and simple solution to this problem. You have magic! Son, use it, please! I'm begging you. Why?
what was that?
My
Our
cat
cat
Pixie's being a bitch.
She used me to just jump off of me.
And now she's looking...
Like she wants to jump back on
Oh,
me.
God. Well, she did some damage, now she's got a taste for blood.
That's how it starts.
Come here, Pixie. Can I pick you up?
Yeah, I couldn't even... Like, that would be so freaking annoying. Oh, God.
Did she just squeak?
Yes. Because I didn't pick her up right.
Rude. Anyway, I have to admit, though, that would be very annoying. I could not imagine such lax security when it comes to my personal possessions, especially in a room with, like, 8 other guys.
Lock your trunk, but then again...
Alohomora!
Yeah.
The fact that there isn't more security, though, they're like, you would think they'd have, like, a picture near each
Randy.
of the dorms to make sure that nobody goes into some place where they're not supposed to. I feel like between the ghosts and all the paintings, it is amazing this place does not have better security.
We're gonna really question that next book.
Right.
You know what? I start questioning even more when I realize that Harry's got a freaking map of all of Hogwarts and how many times that would have probably solved a problem or two if he just bothered to actually use that like a regular security person or something. Do-do-do, hey, what's this random person's name doing in the frickin' Snape's office area or something along those lines?
Hey, this
That's
person's
wild.
supposed to be dead!
Guess it's
Wild.
not his job to be the security guard for the school.
I know, but when he knows something's up and everything, the fact that he does not weaponize that information is just baffling to me. It's still kind of like the more I like.
He just wants to have a normal school year, man.
Yeah, he ain't getting that. Harry's freaking therapy bills must be through the fucking roof.
Therapy? What therapy? He could have used it really bad in the 5th year. Did
Listen, this was the 90s. Boys didn't take therapy. They were above it.
Girls didn't take therapy either. Depending on what part of the 90s you were in. They still had to stay in asylums.
That's where you go. That's where you go send your wife when you're cheating on her and she's mad at you. So you just call her crazy and get her locked up.
That's where you go put your wife when she won't have sex with you.
Now I
That's
know
where you put your
why-
wife when she talks back to you at all, or when she doesn't know how to cook.
Now I know why there were so many women murders. Because their husbands just pissed them off.
And women wonder where all the jokes
Look,
come
man,
from when
the
it comes to
craziest
women.
part is... What's up?
Do you see all this fur?
He's a mess.
My black blanket is now white. And it's
sit.
gotta be
I have
washed
your
before you
no,
can give it
sit.
to the baby. Okay,
Oh,
we are so
my
off
poor
topic.
baby. None of the ladies want to love you, my friend. Oh no.
He wants to tongue your ear, so you can have all of that.
It's a dog. That tongue's gonna go in places you do not want it to go.
Anyhow, Quidditch time.
We're just gonna ignore that and move on.
I mean, wolves do it all the time. You gotta keep your mouth closed around them.
Okay, so
I know what I said.
Harry heads to Quidditch.
Not the ear.
And I love how Hermione at this point is just like, oh, I just understood something.
Because Harry hears the voice again.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And
Sorry,
then
I
she's
was
like,
thinking that.
she smacks her head and realizes something. And I'm just like,
I'm a complete
how?
You know, Hermione's at least smart enough to know that she made a mistake. The fact that Harry did not put this together over the course of this entire freaking year. Oh my god. This isn't
There's a
rocket
language
science,
only I
people.
can speak?
And I can hear something, but nobody else can.
It's a mystery.
This might be important.
It's still just, it makes me question how loud Hogwarts is that they can hear a hissing but not, like, or that they can't hear this hissing but he can somehow hear the words in the hissing. It just doesn't, they have to hear something. The logistics don't make sense.
It makes you wonder if
It's some
snakes
It's some
are
magic.
more like a telepathic speaker. Like the Parcel Tongue is more telepathic language.
From the snake part of it. Because
Yeah,
when
'cause
Harry
they heard-
speaks
yeah, when
Parcel
they
Tongue,
heard-
you
yeah.
can hear it.
Yeah. But
People hear him talking snake
so like
language.
if the snakes instead of hissing back are like it's telepathic from them.
You know what?
Here's the thing though, Ron and Dumbledore both do at least half of what is required to be fluent in Parcel Tongue. So
It's like you're not even listening.
what?
We're saying
the
from the snake.
is telepathic, but the human has to verbalize it.
So
The snake projects the thoughts into your head, but you have to physically speak snake language. That's why nobody else could hear the snake talking.
but they can hear Harry hissing.
That makes sense because think about the zoo. Would he have been able to hear hissing through the glass like that? I've been to the zoo plenty of times, and I've never heard a creature make a hiss or anything.
No, because I feel like those would be very soundproof glass, not for us to keep the noises down,
Keep that
but
down.
for the snakes and the animals, so
that all
quiet
the
for
noise
them.
from everybody. Yep.
Because I can't imagine how disconcerting that would be to have like shrieking kids and shit all day long.
Maybe that's why the reptiles are always hiding and you have to find them.
Shrieking kids.
Ugh.
But
Listen,
yeah,
I
I support your theory, telepathic snakes. But humans are dumb and have to speak.
I mean, we know humans are dumb. Like, you know how cats talk to us. Like we're kittens.
Because cats are telepathic.
I always chalked it up to nonverbal body language is how they communicated to each other.
Uh,
My paw is up, you get the heck
What,
away
cats?
from me. Yeah.
Adult cats, yes, it is nonverbal communication between their body language, even like with dogs. But because
I still think
kittens don't
telepathic.
understand that nonverbal body language,
They
will hiss and growl and meow and chirp at kittens.
Well, and
but-
kittens will do that to get attention because they don't know how to communicate
Yeah,
otherwise.
so that's why cats do it to us, because they see us as giant babies. They
yes.
see us as giant kittens.
I know a story about this is somebody found a feral cat the cat would never meow or anything at her till she had kittens, and then she would notice that the person taking care of them was interacting more with the kittens when the kittens would meow. So one day the owner gets freaked out by hearing this weird creaky meow because it's the mama cat meowing.
Oh.
Because she didn't know that's how to communicate with people. But the kittens had learned that because they saw the interaction. So the mama cat started doing it.
That's cute.
So,
We don't deserve cats.
yeah, and she just got injured by one, so you know she's telling the truth.
Wasn't her fault.
We do finally make our way back to the Quidditch pitch and everything, and
Only for McGonagall to come out and be like, "This match has been cancelled."
They hadn't even kicked off or nothing.
oh man, poor Wood.
They had
poor
just
Oliver.
walked onto the field. Oliver took off for a warm-up flight. Madame Hooch released the balls, and the Hufflepuffs were in a last-minute discussion of tactics. They hadn't even really officially started yet.
And canceled. What? How dare you cancel my
But
match?
we've got to play the Gryffindor!
Wood is like low key. One of my
Drama queen.
one of my favorite side characters of the
I
series.
love Wood.
He does very little. He's not like super relevant to the plot, but dear God, this man is just his enthusiasm for this one thing in this universe, and he will not be stopped.
My favorite meme is when the Death Eaters set fire to the Quidditch courts. Quidditch pitch. And it's just like, what's going on? Why are all the good guys retreating? There's just one wizard coming at us, sir. What's going on? He's just screaming, not my Quidditch field!
Oh God!
To be fair, they didn't
It's
know.
Oliver Wood.
To be fair, they didn't know Oliver Wood wasn't there for when they tore the fuck out of the Quidditch pitch.
Oh, year 4.
Year 4.
Would have had.
And he would have had an aneurysm at
He
that
would have
point.
been foaming at the mouth.
He would have been in St. Mungo's.
The field.
Quidditch! Field! Castles!
Kill them all!
Must fly!
Must protect holes.
Goals.
I love how...
Get the fuck out of here.
I love how, as much as...
They're hoops, not holes, actually.
Details.
Still a hole.
Important.
Still a hole.
Not
Anyways,
a hole.
I love how McGonagall, I forget at what point in the books, goes, why is it always you 3? But at this point,
Book
when...
6, I think.
Is it book 6?
I believe
I only
Okay,
remember
so
that
it
in the
took her a long
movie. I don't remember that
Why
in
is
the
it always
actual
you
book.
3? But, like, I just... I love how she's just like, Harry, I need you to come with me.
Ron shows
And then
up.
Ron shows up.
You two.
No, it's like yeah, you two.
Even her,
Look, she
even
don't
McGonagall
say
was
that.
shipping Hermione and Harry together.
I think it's more of a, she knows that Ron is circumstantially friends with Hermione.
Fair. I didn't catch this. This will be a bit of a shock, she says, in a surprisingly gentle tone. I understand she's Scottish.
Scottish can do dental?
I was gonna say...
There's a lot
That
less
sounds like
swearing in the
gentle
process.
German. It doesn't make sense. German
It's
lullabies?
Liebendish!
I don't think that was German.
That actually was. It was German
Okay.
for I love you. It says, life is short, so tell people you love them. But life is also terrifying, so shout at them in German. Ich liebe dich! Ich
Fair
liebe dich!
enough.
I mean, even saying "I love you" in German sounds kind of scary. All things considered.
Look, man, I'm sure it sounds better when German people say it, and say it softly, I guess.
I'm now kind of curious as to what the what that would actually look like.
We can go
What
down
would be
that
a
rabbit
German?
hole.
Like, oh man, a German romance movie. That should be interesting.
We can go down that rabbit hole when we're off the podcast.
All right, fair enough.
This train has derailed so many times. It's on fire in the bottom of the canyon.
Probably.
There's a train?
I needed to get warm
I
somehow.
I think I missed the train. There was a house hell?
All right. So we go back and we find poor Hermione, and all I could think to myself is, in retrospect, did nobody check her other hand or anything?
I don't think either of them... Their hands got checked because McGonagall says the mirror said it was on the floor next to them.
Okay, at least in the movie, she actually is, like, holding the mirror up and everything, and that makes sense. I don't understand. If you have a mirror in your hand, and you get petrified, you wouldn't drop it, you just freeze.
Hold on. The mirror in the movie had a handle on it, right?
Right.
The mirror that's described in the book is a small circular mirror. As a woman,
It's
that's
probably
a compact.
a compact.
Which
So
is
you're probably
came
holding
from
it with your
Penelope.
hand flat. You wouldn't necessarily hold it with
Yeah,
your
you
hand on
wouldn't-
your grip.
You wouldn't, like... You'd need to angle it around things. You're not looking at yourself.
But you would have.
You'd need to,
You would have
like...
been holding
But you
it
can
like
still hold
this.
it like this. You
Because-
wouldn't...
I know, but if you're... I feel like actually gripping it would
But
still be a good idea.
You're probably not going to hold it like this
Oh.
because...
But yeah, it depends on
You
how
don't
hard
wanna
they
get
were gripping.
grasp
But to be fair, even if you're gripping it lightly, as soon as you're petrified and you fall, gravity's going to take it out of your hand. Maybe.
It depends on how you're holding the mirror and how tightly.
And how, like, cautiously you are about this. If you're, like, looking around a corner because you think that if you stare down there, if you just turn the fucking corner, you die. My thought process is you'd probably have your feet planted, and then you'd be checking that way. You know? I'm just...
There could be a split second where you're startled and drop whatever you're holding.
I mean, it's always kind of sounded pretty instantaneous when it comes to, you know, the whole process, but... Honestly, I don't have any evidence or anything. It's just weird. It's one of those little things that I'm like, I do prefer the movie version where she's actually, like, everything kind of makes a little sort of sense. But it's still, they don't check her other hand. Also, are her clothes petrified?
I don't know.
I remember them being petrified in the frickin' movie. But I don't think there was ever actually a moment where it's, like, brought up.
I don't think
it was
Oh
a thing.
God, could you imagine being petrified for since frickin' Christmas and you're still in the exact same clothes? Oh God, that would reek.
Well, no, if you're petrified, your body's not doing any of the normal bodily functions, so you're not actually going to smell.
Yeah, but dust is basically dead skin cells. It would be getting covered with crap, and it probably still wouldn't smell all that great, just being exposed to all of the other
I was gonna say,
sterilized.
you can't tell me Madame Pomfrey didn't have some sort of, like, poof, you're clean.
Oh, Scourgify. Fair.
Scourgify, yeah.
Or that she has a spell that keeps the air filtered in the hospital wing.
Listen, if we're gonna go down that rabbit hole, petrification, that long, she'd just be dead anyways.
I mean, fair.
Because,
Magical petrification doesn't usually work the same way as actual petrification.
You'd
be a fossil, basically.
You would just be dead because there's no air, there's no food. You're just... It's worse than a coma.
Sounds very unpleasant, actually. Oh, man. We get the whole announcement and everything and, like, the requirements and stuff, and so they're like, we need to go talk to Hagrid! He's, like, their go-to in the first couple of books. We have a pattern for, like, a hot second, and then we change it up.
Yeah. But before they go to Hagrid, George looks at Harry and goes, Percy's in shock. Penelope, that Ravenclaw girl, she was a prefect. I don't think he thought the monster would dare attack a prefect. Clearly we know that they were dating.
Yeah.
Screwing.
Harry's
No, I believe it.
Harry's not very bright.
Harry was only half listening at that point. But I love how that throws us off, because we're like, yeah, that sounds just like Percy. I mean, to
be perfectly honest, when I remember reading this book, it never crossed my mind that Percy had a girlfriend. Like, that was, it would not even be my third or fourth
Harry's
thought.
or Percy's the bad guy.
Yep.
Oh, no, I had the ending spoiled because I skipped to the end of the book before I actually started reading it the first time. So I already kind of knew who the bad guy was. Even though I didn't know who Tom Riddle was, basically. I was just like, the fuck is Tom Riddle? But oh man. I had a thought. I was talking about... What? What?
I'm just sharing a TikTok off camera.
Yeah, uh-huh. My wife's lips are puckering up like that.
It's huskies.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
And they're funny.
Where the... We are on a podcast. Can we have moved this to, like, later or
Nope,
something?
Yeah.
she couldn't avoid it. It was great. It actually correlates to what we were talking about this morning.
Yeah.
Earlier this morning. God.
Have I been here that long?
You know,
What time is it? What day is it?
What year is it? I haven't had my afternoon Adderall, so that makes sense for me.
Oh, for God's sake.
Anyway, Mitchell, you were saying, yes? Harry Potter?
I had lost track of where I was going, and now I've lost track even more, because now I'm just
Well, then
like,
maybe
yeah.
we should go on with Harry saying it's time to get out my dad's old cloak.
The
We
one
got
thing
into a
he
whole
inherited from his father.
Yeah, no worries about the vast mountains of gold.
Technically, that was from Lily and James, because it was also Lily's, even though she didn't earn any of it. She was married, therefore it makes it half hers.
I think they got out of school and basically went into freedom fighting, basically. Because I don't think it's ever mentioned either. Like, I know James was like, I'm going to just coast off of my money, which, I mean, fair.
I wonder what Lily was going to do.
She doesn't strike me as the type of person that would just sit still and do nothing, so I could easily
No, that's
see her-
probably why they joined the Resistance.
James is going to be a stay-at-home dad.
Oh, God, that'd be
That'd be
funny.
great.
Well, look, man, he has to do something with his boyfriend all the time.
Him and Sirius will raise the baby.
Yeah. Oh, God.
That doesn't sound like a terrifying alternate reality.
You know what? You're right. He and Sirius would raise the baby, but Lily had to babysit them the whole time. Lily and Lupin were babysitting.
Good thing James was rich.
You know what? Lupin probably would have been babysitting, too.
I was gonna say Lupin was the only one that was able to have a real job, but no, he probably would have. It would have made more
Lily
sense.
would have been
for-
like, Lupin, your job
Is
is to babysit.
I'm gonna go make the money.
Babysit Harry?
No.
No. Babysit James and Sirius.
I'm not worried about Harry. Harry's 7 months old. He can figure this out on his own.
Lupin walks in. Hey, Uncle Lupin, want to watch and see what stupid thing my
7 months
uncle
old,
and my dad
Alvin!
get into?
7 months old. Harry's making mac and cheese at the stovetop. James and Sirius are outside flying brooms.
You know what?
The house may or may not be on fire. No one knows where the cat is.
Poor Crutchings. I was
Oh, God. He just slowly closes the door. Nope.
Sirius Black would probably get super big into like Muggle toys just because of how much his family hated Muggles.
Oh,
so I
God.
could see him being fascinated
RC
by
cars.
Lego. Oh, dude. Or an RC airplane that he could
Yes.
basically just follow around on the
Yes,
broom.
That would be serious. He would fly by Grimmauld Place just to piss off his mom.
James, give me your cloak. Give me your cloak. I gotta go fly this plane around, but I need to be in the air to do it. James, give me your cloak.
Could you imagine two
James,
fully
like,
grown
I'm not gonna miss this. They both hop on the broom together under the cloak.
two
Their feet are sticking out.
wizards, and they're following the freaking flying airplane, and so everybody who sees the airplane's like, where the it's just going in a straight line. Where's the person who's flying this thing at?
It's going over the river.
We gotta run
Going
away
over the Thames.
flying airplane. What the fuck's going on?
Okay,
We
now
need
we're
a
really
broader
off
series.
the rails.
We
Then.
need a broader series. I need this bullshit in my life.
I love the fan fiction writers so much for all of the funny ass stories that never happened between
Just wait till
these
Sirius
two.
learns about drones.
Oh,
God.
no.
So, the one thing Harry's dad left him was the invisibility cloak. But technically, Dumbledore left it for him.
His dad left him nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not a single thing.
I mean, the cloak could have been in the will.
I would like to think it was.
I assume it
Though,
was.
I'm going to be honest with you, I still don't have a will, and I'm in my 30s.
What's a will?
Okay, listen.
A will to live?
That too.
We're not in the end times like they were.
Are you sure about that?
Yet. We're not yet.
We're working on it.
So anyway, it would have been a lot more useful, again, as I said earlier, to use the cloak earlier in this book series. To maybe spy on Malfoy.
Or, this is where the attacks keep happening. Let me just hide around the corner for a while. Let me just stake this out. Excuse me.
Or, literally anything.
Anything.
But instead, we're going to be like, oh, well, we got to go use it only to go talk to Hagrid. Because obviously he's the villain. Hagrid, why would you attack Hermione like that?
Yeah. I mean, to be perfectly honest, this kind of just, like I said, they go quite a bit extra mile to prove Hagrid is innocent. I feel like most of our friends would probably... Yeah. So, it's... Like I said... Harry and
sanity. And Ron's sanity.
Harry and Ron's missing brain cell. That's what the next book series should be.
The quest for the missing brain cell.
Yeah.
Hermione has them. She only gives them to them at test time.
I love how... I was just looking at this. I love how... there was a particularly tense moment when Ron stubbed his toe only yards from the spot where Snape stood guard. Thankfully, Snape sneezed at almost exactly the same moment Ron swore. If I stub my toe, I'm either saying a curse word very loud or I'm grumbling like that for a solid minute. There is no in between. Snape would have heard me.
Oh, no doubt. To be perfectly honest, I'm surprised they're not heard. I'd like to point out this is an invisibility cloak, not a mute cloak.
Are they going barefoot?
Oh, God, could you imagine that on the cold stone floor?
Look, man, this is Death's cloak. Obviously, you can't hear them unless you're being very loud. Please?
Sure. Alright, Kimmy, keep your hands off my nuts. They're honey roasted.
I love how... I love how Hagrid is just a hot mess of anxiety.
I would be too.
It's a miracle they didn't get shot with that crossbow. Because I'm under the understanding that crossbows, especially like a medieval style crossbow, have very hair triggers.
I'm gonna be even more honest. I don't think Hagrid had that crossbow thinking that monster was going to come attack him. I think he was planning on actually...
He thought Riddle was coming back for him.
I was thinking he was going to actually fight the Ministry if they tried to arrest him.
Or he thought Lockhart was coming back. Because he goes...
No, I like that one the most.
He goes, nothing. I've been expecting... Doesn't matter. Sit down. I'll make
That's what I'm saying.
But,
Riddle put him away.
Yeah.
So he probably figured that Riddle was the one, or that whoever the heir of Slytherin would come after him because he was blamed for it. But if Hagrid thought Riddle was the one who was the villain, he must have been thinking Riddle's gonna come back any day to finish me off because he knows that I know. Because he might have known.
Doubt it. If he
suspected... The spider knew.
The spider knew what the monster was. You didn't know who the person was.
Yeah, I don't feel like Aragog would have known who...
Yeah, but knowing what the monster is...
I mean... And would have probably solved a couple of problems if they said it was a snake, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But anyway, we're jumping chapters. We get our first introduction to, finally, the titular character of the title of chapter, Cornelius Fudge.
Who basically just shows up to tell them that they're taking Hagrid away so he can't actually answer the fucking question.
Which, here's my question. Where the fuck was Veritaserum? Hagrid, Veritaserum. What kind of monster did you have? Are you the heir of Slytherin? It was a spider. It was very small. Could not have actually done anything. Also, no. Why the fuck would I be the heir of Slytherin?
I'm pretty sure Veritaserum is illegal.
It was a strictly regulated.
It doesn't make sense not to use a truth serum in your criminal investigations, though.
I mean, from what I understand, you have to basically answer truthfully any question that's actually told. I don't necessarily think I really want that power in the hands of anybody, period, whatsoever. Just as a general rule. And I think you can fight it under certain circumstances. Or you could tell the truth based off of what you know. Not necessarily what is the
like
truth.
you're defeating it like a lie detector.
Yeah.
True, but straight up question is, are you the heir of Slytherin? No. Do you think you might possibly be the heir of Slytherin? No.
Could be obliviating
Are you causing
themselves.
murder? No.
Are you the heir of Slytherin? Well, technically, we could all be the heir of Slytherin. If you
So
go
long as
back
you're
on the
related-
ancestry long enough.
If you can trace your lineage back to the Gaunts, then probably.
Just saying.
If they knew the Gaunts were there, like, related to Slytherin. I feel like it wasn't common knowledge.
None of this was common knowledge. Most people didn't even know Tom Riddle was Lord Voldemort.
I know, but I'm just saying, Veritaserum is kind of important, like, it's a plot hole. It's a plot hole.
Okay, going back to the crossbow. So, Hagrid's stammering, forgot to put tea bags in the tea kettle, dropped the fruitcake when there was a knock at the door, and then grabbed the crossbow again and went, oh, Dumbledore. So, hairpin trigger on this crossbow. Not only did he almost potentially kill Harry and Ron, he almost killed Dumbledore with this hairpin trigger.
Potential
Nah,
hairpin
Dumbledore
trigger.
would have lived.
Fast
He's got a-
reaction times.
He's got a phoenix. As long as he's still breathing when that bird starts crying on him, he's good. Well, it's true.
He's not wrong.
Holy shit. I actually got a he's not wrong instead of an argument. It's a frickin' it's a Christmas miracle.
I'm pushing your luck.
Mark it down in the history books, folks.
Also, I don't think even Phoenix Tears could fix extensive brain injury if it went through Dumbledore's head, whether he was breathing or not.
Magic.
No,
Dumbledore's smart enough, he would have figured this out.
because
He would have. Dumbledore knows everything. He would have had this planned.
Even though it's much further on, I'm pretty confident we actually have some movement speeds from Dumbledore where he is probably capable of dodging spells and stuff, which, you know, pretty freaking quick, all things considered. So I wouldn't be too surprised if there's, like, certain things that are going on where, like, I'm not in the debate section of the internet when they talk about, like, characters versus characters. But I'd like to think Dumbledore could dodge a crossbow bolt. I'd feel really bad for Cornelius Fudge or whoever else is right behind him. But, you know, he'd be okay.
Anything, so.
he's not a fucking Jedi, Mitch.
I mean,
He's not a Jedi.
Well, I love how.
I mean, he's got a fancy stick. He's got the ability to erase people's memories and confuse them. And he can pull things towards him and he can toss them back. I mean, he's got all of the skills and abilities. He just needs the stick to glow right color.
So I love how. After
I feel
Cornelius
like I'm
comes
being
in.
very annoying today.
After Cornelius comes in, he's like, "We're just gonna, take you for a short stretch. Take me where? If someone gets caught, you'll be let out with a full apology." And then Kimmy goes, "An apology, not a pardon." Wouldn't that be the same thing, though? Like, pardon me and my apologies. Like, I get, like, in the legal standpoint, it not the same word. So, but, like, it's Britain, wouldn't it? Would it be the same?
This is why we need to have different levels of prisons.
Hey, paralegal dude.
I couldn't imagine being thrown into super maximum security for jaywalking
Yeah.
right next to the mass murderer. There should be like a middle ground between soul-sucking depression and mildly inconvenience when it comes to, your punishment for committing a crime.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, they thought he was a murderer. But what's crazy to me is that, like, oh yeah, it's a short stretch, but we'll only let you out if somebody else is caught. What?
Or no more people. Oh wait, no, if people.
If no one else dies, and they'll be like, "Yep, did it again."
Locked away forever.
I'm kind of surprised that Hagrid actually went on quietly, considering the what we know of the location in the later dates.
Look, all I have to say is that where is the justice in any of these books? They don't. We see trials in the 4th book for some of the Death Eaters, but like, where's Hagrid's trial? Where was his trial when he was a teenager?
There wasn't a trial for Buckbeak.
Yes, there was.
Yes, there was.
There was. Oh, that's right. Hagrid was talking. And it was like a farce, Morse.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like...
It existed.
You should have had a trial when he was a teenager. Bring the evidence. Let him testify his own case. Let him talk about what happened. No, just expelled. Okay, cool.
One snapped in two.
This time. Okay, you're just gonna go to Azkaban now? What? Yep. You did it before, it's probably you again, but I didn't do it before. It's stupid. There's no... It's just like Sirius Black never got a trial either.
No due process here in the Wizarding World, folks.
They're above the law.
Sirius was Wizarding royalty, basically, though. He should have gotten a trial.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that a lot of this blood purity in this entire in the series is basically just a "I'm better than you" tag thing, and actually has very little when it comes to actually keeping anybody, protected in a real sense.
Well,
even if you want to talk with the money standpoint, the Blacks were way richer than the Malfoys.
But if you think about who of Sirius's family was alive when he went to Azkaban, because if his mom was alive, she probably would have been like, just throw the fucker in jail. Don't try him, nothing. Just throw him in.
I think she was alive.
Because she didn't like him. She was trying to... I think she had him blotted out of the family tree at that point.
Yeah,
so she
but I know it
called
wasn't
him
her because I think he said that it was an uncle or something that gave it to him. Because, I'm pretty confident, like, there was a couple of members of the family that actually liked Sirius. Not his mom, though.
No. But I wouldn't be surprised if his mom...
We'll probably get that detail in Book 5.
However, it's also possible that his mom, no matter how much she would have disowned him, would also be very blood purist about who the fortune goes to. It would have to be the direct male descendant. That will could have been written up ages before she actually died, and she never bothered changing it because she was too busy being crazy and blasting people off the wall.
It wasn't her will that was the one that gave him the fortune, though.
Fair enough.
Anyway, we get the return of the elf.
Lucius Malfoy.
I'm calling him an elf because he also plays an elf in the
I forgot what the elf's
series.
name was.
He's
the king too, which is kind of cool too. I love that. I know it's stupid, but I still kind of like those movies.
I love how Lucius comes just to suspend Dumbledore, and Fudge is like, no. Like, okay. Taking Hagrid as precaution that he might actually be the one behind this is one thing, but suspending Dumbledore, like, that's a step too far, Lucius. And Lucius is just like, well, fuck you, Fudge. I've gone above and beyond you.
And to be perfectly honest, it's wild that these two people get along so well in later books of the series, considering. At this point in time.
Because Lucius has Fudge's number. Where is it?
This is 12. This is number 12.
I did my waiting. 12 years of it. Where I saw it somewhere.
Sorry, my sleeping gummies are starting to kick in a little bit, so I might start getting a little loopy after a long day at work.
I just remember that Fudge was like had sweat on his upper lip at one point, and I can't find where exactly he was talking about it. Oh, the next paragraph says, "See here, Malfoy, if Dumbledore can't stop them," said Fudge, whose upper lip was sweating now. So, Fudge he's been kowtowed by Malfoy.
Fair. It seems to be more of... I just feel like the relationship between these two characters definitely has some weird twists and turns where we don't really get to see the changes themselves.
Yeah.
It's just... This is their relationship now.
Okay, so... Sorry, backpedal. So it looks like most likely what happened was that... yes, you were right. An uncle gave Sirius some money to make sure he had some, money. But we do know that all of the Black Fortune was given to Sirius at some point because he had Grimmauld Place. And he was able to pass that inheritance to Harry. So, apparently, what I'm reading is it was most likely it was left to his brother, who died early, as well as his father, and then his mom went mad.
So
they probably never changed the will.
Yeah, but he was also
so he ended up getting it by default because
because his brother died.
But wasn't he one of the last of the official Black Line too, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I think I was reading something about how his grandfather didn't die until 91 or something. So it's very possible that his grandfather outlived his he was probably just, they forgot to change the will to exclude Sirius.
Give it all to one son. That son dies.
Gave it to his brother.
Yeah.
Also, they get several cryptic messages.
Help will always be given to those at Hogwarts who have in need of it and ask for it.
What is it with old men in fantasy stories that can't give a straight friggin' answer?
Bless you. Follow the spiders.
Oh, and someone will need to feed Fang while I'm away.
Follow the spiders? Why couldn't it have been follow the butterflies?
I do like how they all but state outright that Dumbledore knows they're actually there and is directly looking at them. I'm like,
I still feel like
that would be so unnerving.
Dumbledore probably knew exactly what was going to happen because Hagrid leapt up to be like, "No, you are not taking Dumbledore." And it says in there that Dumbledore was like, "Hagrid," and said it sternly, or sharply or sternly or something. Something that gave enough force that Hagrid was like, "All right."
You don't fucking argue with Dumbledore.
Dumbledore's
man.
got a thing. He knows what he's doing.
Dude.
And I think that's the only reason why Hagrid ended up eventually walking out with them calmly, because he knew, one, he knew Harry and Ron were there, but two, he's like, if Dumbledore is okay with this,
everything will be okay.
Then everything should be fine, and I will just trust in Dumbledore.
Hagrid's the ultimate ride or die, folks. This guy, if he is your bro, he has got your back.
But that's why Dumbledore chose him in book 1. And McGonagall was like, or was it McGonagall wondering about Hagrid or something?
And McGonagall wondered why Dumbledore trusted Harry to Hagrid.
Because Hagrid was ride or die.
Also,
we've come
WWDD. What would Dumbledore do?
I feel like I'm missing a reference here.
What?
You don't get it? WWJD, what would Jesus do?
Oh.
What would Dumbledore do?
I thought that was like an internet thing or something.
No,
there was some sort of really cool Dumbledore skit where I was like, I missed out on it.
I was making a Jesus reference. You should have gotten that one.
Well, that was my first thought, but I was like, there's no way that my pagan friend over here is going to make a Jesus joke that wholesome.
Of course I would. I make Jesus jokes all the time.
I meant wholesome ones. I said wholesome ones.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
We cut him off.
Oh.
That's a possibility.
I can make wholesome Jesus jokes.
No, it's fine. This isn't a good Christian show with all the cursing in here already.
Those are pretty wholesome.
Fair enough. Okay, fine. You win. Have a cookie.
Do we have anything else we want to go over in this chapter?
I was figuring we'd be wrapping this thing up. It's already 9:27.
We've gone on for over an hour, and we're at the end of the chapter.
I feel like we could definitely edit this down if I had the patience, knowledge, and desire to.
Yeah.
Nah, you get full unabridged glory.
They're here for our rambles. That's why they watch my floss tube too.
Your floss tubes are like a quarter of the length of some of these videos.
Only because I've been focused on one project. Kimmy, do you got any last sentiments on this book?
Veritaserum.
Prozac. Ron's gonna need a lot of it.
Squeak, 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 squeak. How did nobody see Peter Pettigrew on the fucking map?
That's the wrong book.
See, that's it.
Details.
He needs other antidepressive drugs for that one. Okay, right now, he's about to go face his fear. He needs Prozac.
Some,
Poor bastard.
not... What's the Xanax?
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Let's plug our shit and get out of here.
You can find me on YouTube, or otherwise known as FlossTube, under Brandywine Stitches. Right now, well, in December, I'm just talking about my one crochet blanket, but hopefully by the time you're watching this, I've gotten back into cross stitch, put my teeth back in and try and talk. Or I'm on the rest of the socials at Hockeytown Candle Co.
You can find me on social media at Luna's Creation Corner, and hopefully by the time that this video airs, I might have my actual website from Mayhem Market posted.
Neat. I'm Mitchell Sanders. You can find me at Cole Sanders at Twitch and everything. I should be getting pretty close to finishing off the Persona 4 Golden game, so I'm definitely thinking about going back to Persona 3 and playing the new version of that. I'm horribly behind on the current trends and stuff along those lines, but hey, we'll see what happens. Anyway.
But until next time, keep your wands at the ready.